Welcome back to the Big Guy Garage. I'm Richard again, of course, but we got it stripped. We got it all stripped. This week we're going to focus on, this weekend, we're going to focus on pulling the LS, pulling the 700R4, and getting everything started as far as cleaning the frame. Going to look into some paint. I'm probably just going to spray paint it black. With like some Rust-Oleum or something to get it, halfway decent looking. But yeah, let's take a look here. Okay, so last week got the floor off, and as you can tell, the floor's gone. I moved it into my storage room. I scratched my concrete up a little bit. It kind of made me mad, but it's concrete. I mean, it's gonna get scratched and damaged. Anywho, we need to do a lot of removal of stuff like this, the ABS line. It needs to go. It ain't doing nothing. This is the evap canister. We don't have evap anymore, so that's gonna go. What I'll do is I think I have one, but I have a little filter that goes on like a rear end or something. We'll just cap that off with that filter just to let it breathe, which is normally what they do. Or I can run a, rubber hose off to the side somewhere, let it breathe, expel the gases. We got to get rid of all of these e-brake stuff because not using it. I'm probably going to build a cross member after I get the 4L80E put on. The 700, I'll probably post it for, I can't post anything, but I'll probably put it for sale, tell people it's for sale. Got to pull the motor completely out, and I'm doing that because, one, I know that my tapped on oil sensor is not going to work because I broke the housing. I got to change the oil pan anyway, so easy peasy. You can see this thing was sweating in here the other day. It's wet. I'm hoping it's from that, which telltale signs, if that was the water from like going under, it would have been wet from there all the way through because I have plastic under here. But it's just the motor was sweating down. Everything in here was sweating actually because with the temperature change. So I had the doors open today. It's 65, sunny. Got my fan going, letting it dry out. We got to pull the harness off of here. I've got to figure out what the rest of this harness is for. I believe, yeah, I got it all taped. Anything such as wiper motor, AC, all that stuff's going to go. Don't need it. Don't care about it. Get it out of here. Got the fuel tank off. I got to move it over to there. Get it out of the way. But yeah, we're making really good progress in a month? I started in December. It's almost 2 months actually. Actually, no, I started in January. So a month. We've got the body all off and everything like that. So yeah, we're going good. But all this, I want to clean, wire wheel, paint. I want to chop off all of these old exhaust mounts. I don't need them anymore. No, it's just a list of all the cleanup stuff I got to do, which is a lot. It is hilarious to me how far this thing has risen from taking weight off of it. It is just crazy. I don't know if I can actually even do anything to it now. Yeah, so yeah. It is literally maxing out the shock how much weight has gone off of this thing. It is hilarious. But yeah, I'm still loving it. Oh, my knee's jacked up right now. But again, all this stuff I want to clean up. I want to paint everything. And of course, like everybody, they'll go, get pour 15, get pour 15. Nah, I don't need it. My exhaust plan here is it's going to have to be a little bit lower than this because I need to try to keep my trans mount that level. Because I have no clue. I should have measured first or looked and seen where my floor pan ends, which I know it's low, it's down here, but I gotta try to keep it underneath that. No big deal. I was even thinking maybe turn the round exhaust to an oval. You know, leave it round there with the weld-on band clamps. Is that what they're called? Band clamps? No, they're not band clamps. They're you know what I'm talking about. The two-piece things. I don't know for the life of me. I can't think of what they're called right now. But those on there. Then start squishing the pipe down and make it sort of oval so I have a little bit more ground clearance. But yeah, I rebuilt this 700R4 about 12 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. It was a while ago, and it's got like 1 mile on it. Yeah, brand new torque converter, brand new everything inside, clutches, steels, Corvette servo. It's a built 700R4. But again, 700R4, no bueno on LS, so we're going to get rid of that. I'll sell it to help fund something else I need for this, for sure. But yeah, I got to get O2 bungs, or not bungs, but O2s on here. Yeah, but there's not a lot I still need to do, but there's a lot I need to do. Just to get it to the point where I want it. I'm going to have to pull the intake, of course, so that way I can pull the engine. I'll clean up anything under there. I've got new valve covers coming. What else do I need to do? There's just a lot I need to do. Clean, paint, remove, you know. But that is the starting steps that we're at right now. And if you're going to join, please like, share, and subscribe. If you also want to check it out on TikTok, I do them videos as well. You'll see it a little bit ahead of time, but I just don't go into depth. It's basically talking. Because I really can't show you in 1 minute and 10 minutes, so we're going to do it mostly on YouTube. I just do quick little updates on there. But anyway, I am going to get started by stripping this stuff off, and we'll see what we got after that. Let's check it out. Get busy. Well, I actually didn't do nothing in here this weekend. It's a little bit cold today, but we're back at it. Anyway, I've done some measurements on the travel wall. Let me show you what I got going on. So, for the firewall is about 51 inches. So what I did was I actually took it to 50 and marked where the outside edge of the frame needs to be, which is right here. And that's a 1/2 inch clearance on each side. You can see I got it marked over there as well. And I measured from the front spindle back to see where the back door is, which comes to about right here. And the reason I did that is I wanted to see where I need to put, you know, how far the angle needs to go, which is right there. So I need to put a piece of steel in that literally goes from here straight back to here, and then cut that section of the frame off while keeping this section of the frame boxed and strong. It's not too hard to do. The hardest part is going to be finding some boxed frame and then making it fit in these areas, which it don't really matter if it fits exactly. I got to make a new trans mount anyway. But this is where you really want to take your time, okay? Because this is critical. If you screw this up, your frame's screwed. Okay? So I am definitely going to slow go with this stuff. I have to move brake lines. I have to move other stuff over there to get it out of the way to do that cut. This cut will be just moving my fuel lines out of the way. I'm going to do all this after I pull the motor and stuff out, because I don't want that in the way of measurements and making sure everything is perfectly straight and square. Okay? But that's about where I'm at. I'm going to go out here and do some more measurements, because I did find that my firewall would actually be like 3 inches in. But again, the top I can pull out like this, and you know, it'll keep everything pretty much flush at the top, and then I'll just have to make fillets along the sides. We've done it many times before. Now that being said though, I do know my frame currently is 1 inch longer. So I was trying to figure out where can I take that 1 inch out. If I take it out here and pull the front end back, it will pull the motor closer to the firewall, which will end up screwing it up. Because my firewall is literally like right here. So I don't want to mess with that. Now, 1 inch, I can fudge it probably and don't even have to mess with it. But right now, the hard part is I've just got to get that done first. Because then I can bring the body in and start cutting it up and see where it lands as far as on the frame to motor relations and stuff like that. Put my floor back on, cut it, and you know, get it all. I am going to lose this body mount, which is no big deal because GM had another body mount literally 8 inches away, 10 inches. So yeah, that frame's a little crusty right there. That bushing's toast. I put that bushing there. So yeah. Anywho though, it's not a big cut. If it was like in here where the edge of the frame had to be and go that way, I'd be getting a little skeptical, but that is nothing. So I am going to start by doing what I said I was going to do the other day. I'm going to strip the frame down the rest of the way. I'm going to get the e-brake cables cut off. I'm going to get the whole wiring for the ABS removed, this line removed, and start working on pulling the harness off of the engine to where I can pull it and the transmission together. So let's get busy. Well, that was a lot quicker than I thought it'd be to get that crap off there, but it's off. I did find that it appears I had broken a brake line at some point during removal. I don't know if it's a broken brake line or if it's just bleeding or what, but that's gonna have to be fixed. I might go ahead and replace these lines to the other side, to this side and that side, which I didn't want to bleed brakes again, but if it's leaking, it's a problem. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I have enough strength to do it. I don't have enough strength to do that. But yeah, let's move on now to pulling all the wiring off of here, which should pull off this other part of the harness too, which again I've got to go through this part of the harness and delete everything I don't need, which one thing I know I do need is right here. Big thick purple wire is always your starter wire, so I know I need that one. I think I got the, yeah, right here, brown and gray, I believe, brown and tan is my oil sending unit over there, which is electric, because on these they were electric. And there's the factory one I never took off. which that'll get taken off this time, and the actual unit, if I get it, will go there. Yeah, so I just got to start getting this stuff off here out of my way. This is another power wire, but it's in my way right now, so I want to get it out of my way to get it off the engine, to get the engine out. I do know I also have to remove these brackets. I'm not going to use the R4 AC pump. I'm not going to use any AC, but I'll pull that. Going back with the factory brake, or not brake, but factory power steering and stuff bracket. So this will all come off. But yeah, let's continue on. I've got a bit of a headache right now from weather change, but we will push forward. Let's get busy. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the harness on the intake and pull the entire intake off, because it sucks to have to reroute all that wiring, and it's kind of hard to get them in the ejectors unhooked. Yeah, but yeah, we're just going to pull it real quick, and the whole harness should be loose at that point, and we'll work on pulling the motor and trans. So now with that intake off, you can see where I ported these a long time ago. And the reason you're sitting there like, they're very rough. Well, you got to keep these rough on the fuel inside, and the exhaust side can be smooth. And that's just the way, you know, they want you to do it. I did a lot of research before I did it, and I made sure I was doing it correctly. So yeah, these are I think I took it to 80 grit, and is it this side or is it the other side? I don't remember if it was the exhaust side or intake side. There's a nub in here. You literally grind down so much the bolt sticks through. So when you put the head bolts in, you have to use sealant on them. So, but yeah, I'm going to vacuum this off real quick because I don't want none of that dirt to go in there. And then I'm going to tape this off, make sure nothing gets in it. But that's the next part down. This is literally my favorite part of building anything, is details on engines and stuff like that. Again, I built this engine myself. This is my first engine I built. It's got new rod bearings. It's got new piston rings. It's got new, I honed it. I ported the heads. I put the cam in it. I actually cut the oil pan and took it to the local trade school and had it welded, and they didn't do a very good job, which is why I already ordered last night a new eBay oil pan to go on here, because I had to cut the pickup tube and everything, and I don't like the way it was when I did it, but it was enough to where I could still run the motor and everything. But again, didn't like it, so ordered the proper one. At the time when I built this motor, I was super poor. Like, I mean, I spent every dollar I had just to get the bearings and stuff for this motor. Traded to get the cam, traded to get the valve springs, you know, so yeah, now I got a little bit of money. I can do a little bit more that I wanted to do. Also, when I paint the motor, I will be painting this valley cover this time. I wanted to keep a lot of aluminum because back then, which was like 10 years ago, I was like, man, it shows how hot rod you are when you got them aluminum parts shining. Yeah, kinda, but not as much now. So, anywho, let me clean this off. So we're about to pull the motor. I got all my stuff set up, so that way it's a little bit faster for filming. But I use an engine leveler. I don't, you know, you can put it wherever you want on here. I just didn't want to have to, you know, open my doors, let my heat out. But I just bolt it to these with some washers, the Valley bolt holes. It don't hurt it at all. It's going into an iron block. Them bolts are steel. you ain't gonna hurt it. So that's just where I put mine. You can run yours wherever you want. They do make a big plate that goes there. I don't know if the carb plate works, but whatever, you can try one of those. I will have to pull the power steering pump so that way, you know, the lines. And other than that, everything else is gravy, you know. It's pull the tail shaft bolt for the transmission and then pull the 2 motor mount bolts and it's out. Then when it's out, I'm going to jack it up in the air. I'm going to pull the torque converter bolts so that way when I put it down on the ground, I bust off the bell housing bolts, the trans comes off and torque converter's still with it. So speaking of that, now that I talk about that transmission, I need to get over here. Gosh, of course I got everything blocked. I need to get over here and find that flex plate, or not the flex plate, yeah, it's a flex plate for the 480E. You gotta find the flex plate, flywheel, whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty sure flex plate's what it is. Flywheel's manual. No, there. Yeah, so I got the flat and the dished, so I can do whatever. Yeah, but we're going to throw you guys on time lapse and get busy getting this motor out of here to where I can start working on everything else, you know. Alrighty, motor and trans is out. I had to put it down and move it forward because it was basically going straight up my hydraulic here. I'm gonna get down and unbolt the torque converter, which ain't gonna be fun, and get the transmission ready to come off. And then I gotta put the engine stand, what do they call that? The actual engine stand part on it, to where I can put it on the stand until time comes to tear off what I need and repaint it. I just realized I'm gonna have to take the headers off to repaint it. That sucks. But yeah, it's all gotta get repainted. Water pump needs painted this time. Valley cover needs repainted, whole block. I'll probably do that when I change the oil pan. Actually, it'll probably be the best time. So yep, but I gotta break off the torque converter bolts, then pull off the trans. That's like nothing, no major. But yeah, let's get that done now. got her on the engine stand. Boy, oh boy, I'm sweating to death up in here. Got the heat too high. I know this flywheel still needs to come off. I'm not worried about that. It's nothing big. I'll have to take it off when I do the oil pan. So for now, I am done for tonight. I am sweating down. But she's on the stand. I'm going to leave this here for support. I never really trust these things, especially the one wheel style. So I just usually leave my cherry picker hooked to it for a couple of days, make sure it don't fall. It appears to be somewhat in the middle, where I think it would be. But again, that's good. That's done. The 700R4 is off. Good. Done. Gonna sell that. Yeah, but I'm tired. My goal today was to get the stuff off the frame, the harness and stuff like that, and get the motor transmission out and broke apart. That was my goal today. I did it. So yeah, gonna call it a day. Alright, so I got the 4LED out and the cat won't leave me alone. But I need to pull the pan and inspect it to see how bad it is. Now I took the torque converter off. One, because it made it 100 pounds lighter. I'm gonna step all over you. Yeah, no, stop, go on. You're getting on my nerves. But the inside of it's super clean. The fluid actually in it isn't too bad. What are you doing? What is your problem? You're so needy right now. You're like a freaking drug addict cat. But I don't know how I'm gonna put this up on something to check it. I might have to wait till tomorrow and go get my other engine stand and bolt it to it and then put it up on there so that way I can pull the pan and check it out. You're getting on my nerves. But yeah, I want to inspect it. What? Let me throw this cat out. Well, I went and got the other engine stand, got the trans on it. I'm going to do a live on TikTok tonight and we'll pull the pan off and take a look at it. I got some other stuff I got to pull off, of course. This stuff needs to come off. That's not getting used. Other than that though, the shafts and stuff look really good on it. Look really new, which is weird to me. I don't know how many miles were on this. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a junkyard engine. I don't know, like, the person I got it from has been long since he's had this. I've had this transmission like 4 years, 5 years. So, yeah. Not going to get any information on there, but just to look at the seals. I mean, them seals look almost new on the back and on the front. It's hard to tell. Well, yeah, you can tell. I mean, they look brand new. So, the fluid that I spilled out of it last night looked brand new. So, inside the torque converter looks brand new. We'll pull it tonight, and we'll see how it looks. I gotta let my phone charge a little bit, and then I gotta go do the live on TikTok where we'll pull the pan, discuss it, discuss some more of what the choppy chop's gonna be on the frame. We'll go from there. But that's it for right now. Alright, so last night I did a live where I pulled the pan off and inspected it. Yeah, there's chunky chunks in it. What had happened was the input shaft thrust bearing got chewed up and ate, and that's what's left in there. And let me tell you a funny one. I am banned from TikTok live now because one, I made a joke about me having an OnlyFans, right? And two, I had some silvery powder from the bearing material on my finger, and I said I fingered the Tin Man's butt, and I got banned like that. Way overkill strict on that. You can have every hoe on there with cleavage down to here with a string over it, and they're still alive every day. But yeah, I do have to rebuild this transmission. I'm getting ready to pull this clip off right here. Because I'm curious to see how them clutches look in there. I don't know how far I gotta go. Is it literally like pull it apart, clean it, replace that one bearing, and put everything back in? Or do I need clutches? Do I need new this and that? And, you know, yada yada yada. But as for now, I'm just gonna pull this. I want to check out them clutches and go from there. That's all I can do right now. My table's outside that I need. It's covered in junk, so I don't want to start pulling everything apart like crazy. I just want to do a little bit here just to try to see some more, inspect it a little more. I knew I was pretty much going to have to rebuild it at the second I pulled the pan and saw the needle bearings were in here, because they had come out from there. I'm hoping my pump and everything's good. Again, I'm not going to pull that stuff apart until I have my table in here and I can start laying everything out just right. But as for now, I'm going to pull this and check it out. So I'm going to dive into this transmission a little bit, and I've already took this clutch pack out and this clutch pack out. This one's in this overdrive. That one's actually in the case. Now I know the part in the case is pretty beat up, but it don't actually affect anything. This edge right here, this edge is clean. It's got a little sharpness to it. I might be able to stick like a piece of sandpaper in there or something and just smooth that edge down a little bit. But I'm going to continue going further into this, see if I can't find anything else that is like obviously bad. But right now, I called the, well, not right now, but a minute ago, I called the transmission shop, and actually, I know now the Rebesto clutches and stuff that are in it are not factory, which I didn't think they were, which is a good sign that this thing was rebuilt before. All of these overdrive gears are good. Every gear on here is good. The bearing, or the bushings in there look fine. I don't know about the back one. It's completely smooth. I don't know if it's supposed to be completely smooth, like, you know, that, because that looks like it's got a little scuffing to it. But it don't, there's no lip or nothing there. It's perfectly smooth. Yeah, the steels in there are good. Steels on here are good. The clutches on there are good. Again, this bearing is the only bearing that I believe failed and got chewed up in something. I'm guessing the bearings aren't as hard as the gears are in it, and it just ate the bearings, so it made bearing mush in it. I need to pull off the electricals and the valve body, making sure not to lose any of the check balls. Take a lot of pictures as I go, and then compare to other pictures that I can find. So that's about all I can do to see if this is going to be the route of rebuilding, which I think it is. I only think just that bearing exploded. Didn't explode, but bearing came apart, and then the transmission chewed it up. That's all that happened. And literally, I mean, the pan, most of the stuff in the pan now is from me flinging it off my finger from digging it out of this area right here. So once I get that out, and behind it I can see, you know, how bad is it? How bad is this part? Is this, like, is it screwed? And what I'll do is, maybe if the guy don't mind, I'll take pictures to him at the trans shop and be like, listen, I can't afford it, but can you tell me, is this bad? Is this good? Do I need to replace this? How much is this part going to cost? He already said he probably has the thrust bearing and the washer and that one steel. So that's a good thing. And I did ask him how much, you know, to core it. If I just wanted to give him a core, how much money? $100. I was like, no, I paid $300 for it. So I'm not going to take $100 loss, then have to pay $800 for another one. So, yeah, but this is my main concern right now of taking off, because I know there's check balls in there. There's certain gaskets in here. There's a steel plate in here. And the electronics, which I'm going to probably unclip the electronics and just fling them over to the side, because I don't want to be un-RTVing that, whoever did that. I got to pull the back tail shaft off, But if I can save this transmission, it would be best for me, because again, it's already been rebuilt at one point, not by me. It looks like 2011. That's what the Rebesto clutches are stamped. So let's continue on. So it seems a lot of the stuff that was in the thrust bearing on the overdrive gear went down through here, then into the throttle body, I believe, the valve body. So it come through here, which I think it come through there. Is there a hole there? You know, it might not have come through there. Oh yeah, right there's the hole. So whatever that hole goes to, I need to make sure and clean out real good. Where's that? Okay. Here's all the chunky, goopy stuff is right in here, as you can see. Focus. Yeah, so that's the bearings. That's all up in here. I don't know how bad this is. I don't know what what the surface is supposed to be like. I'll probably get some pictures and check that, but I'm definitely gonna have to clean this out. Make sure nothing's in it. Right there's a piece of it. Yep. But I also got my oil pan in. This is an eBay oil pan. This one was $119, I think, and it's supposed to come with gasket, pickup tube, and the all the bolts and everything. So I see the pickup tube. The bolts are in there, but I ain't seeing the gasket. So maybe it's under here. There's the new gasket. Yay! So that all came. So that can get put on when I get to it. Right now it's transmission problems, because, you know, who cares if the motor runs if the transmission don't work? Oh well. But yeah, we're going to get back to pulling this apart. Try to get everything else out of there. The next is going to be the park brake band and them gears. I wonder if this is supposed to look this color. That looks burnt. All the gears that I'm finding, like the gears or the clutches in there, the clutches on this clutch pack, I haven't took these ones out, but they all look fine. This clutch pack I haven't took apart yet. See, that stuff looks like it just went in and then flushed straight out. So hopefully this thing started making noises, so they went, let's stop driving it. And it was just that bearing being eaten, and they stopped it before it got too bad. Because like none of these teeth are bad, none of them gears are bad. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping. Let's say that. But I don't know what the colors on this stuff should be, so I gotta learn a lot here. Well, I got it all apart. Besides that actual bearing eating up that part and the steels on the back of this pack, everything else looks good. I mean, it looks perfect. All the clutches look good. This, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like this. I'm pretty sure it is, actually, but it's a wavy clutch plate, but it had a lot of play in here, and I didn't like that. So I'm going to find out some information on that. I'm going to find out if that's fine, if it can be used still. If it's not going to be able to be used, then I'll see if I can't buy another one from the trans guy. This will have to be replaced, of course. That steel, that piece. As far as everything else goes, though, I mean, it's mint inside of it. There's nothing else. All of the teeth on all of the gears are perfect. The clutches look like they're new. I mean, they still got as much as factory on them, probably still. The steels are all shiny and clean. They look good. I haven't gone through the valve body yet, but I need to. But as far as I can tell, just this little thrust washer right here, I can't get it off right now. It's like they stick when I got that film on them. Come on, pop out of there. There you go. This looks a little wore. I think I need a new one of these. Clearly, considering one side's copper and the other side's silver, so yeah, that's not probably any good. But I'll see about getting another one of those. And I think other than that piece, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pieces, and I think it'll be fine. I think I'll be able to put it back together. New fluid. Get off me. New seals. You know, put new seals and everything. Because they are looking a little flat. But they could be flat like that on purpose. I mean, I don't know. I've only rebuilt one and it's under there and it still works. So, but, yep. I'm going to go see the trans guy probably Monday. See what he says about it all. If he thinks these clutches are about the end of their life, I'll order a kit that has clutches. Other than that, this is about all I can do right now to said transmission. So, yeah, but I like doing this. It's fun. I wish I knew every step of it. I am probably going to order a book on the rebuilding these, because if there's little tricks I can do, like, squeeze me, I know some have a check ball delete, and I also know some you can drill the valve body plates and give more fluid pressure at the right times, which is fine. But as I've been seeing a lot on the videos online, if you give it the wrong amount of pressure, like you don't want 500 psi of pressure or whatever, 100 pounds of pressure in your valve body all the time, like at a stoplight, you want like 60 in there instead of 200, you know what I'm saying? And that's what burns up a transmission faster. I am not looking to build a drag car, so I don't need like billet everything and stuff like that. I just want it to be reliable is the only thing I'm looking for. But I think I'm done for today. It's a little stressful to me taking this stuff apart, because it's, you know, I put $300 in it already. I bought it for $300. You know, if I can replace that for 50 and a steel for 10 and that bearing for 10 and have 70 in it, you know, it's good. I'm all good. I'm not, you know, I'm still good. And then buy a overhaul kit's like $60. So if all I gotta do is replace seals and gaskets and my clutches are good and everything else is good, awesome. Super awesome. Super happy. That's fine with me. But if I start getting the stuff where it's like, oh, you're going to need a new pump, a new planetary, a new overdrive gear, you know, then I'm screwed. Then it's like, well, garbage, and then go buy, you know, 800 was the one I was quoted. It's a 800 for another 4L80E, which is like 600 for a 60E, which is probably fine. This thing's probably pushing like 310 horsepower, maybe 3, or no, it's going to be more than that. It's probably 400 foot-pounds of torque, you know, with the cam and the ported heads and stuff like that. So it's not a monster engine, but I was trying to think of the future, as in where maybe someday I get lucky at a junkyard and boom, there sits an LSA supercharger, you know, because that's the dream. LSA supercharger. Want one. Always wanted one. Badly. And an LSA supercharged Travelall? Come on. Awesome. But this stuff's going to sit now till Monday. I'll load up these pieces and go and show him. See if he has the replacement pieces. And then I'll probably take some clutches and stuff like that with me too, or show him pictures and see if he's like, that's got to be replaced, that's got to be replaced, whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much it.